family. Welcome back to the PM Studios. My name is Bongani Masuku Osudagalang Mkaju. Today, I'd like to speak about debt. I say debt is a pandemic. This is one of the strongholds that is keeping people from progressing to the highest that they can be. That is debt. In 2020, we faced one of the biggest pandemic that the world has ever seen. Well, in our lifetime. Life has never been the same since then. Yes, there were diseases. There are still diseases that are killing people today. But COVID-19 just happened in a short space of time and affected the whole world at the same time, killing quite a number of people. About 7 million people died through the pandemic. Where I'm getting to is that now we understand the word pandemic. And COVID-19 was one of them. And I therefore submit to you also that debt is another pandemic. Well, there are many reasons why people find themselves in debt. Many of them, when you look at their conditions, really, you think this person should not have been in debt in the first place. Let me just backtrack a bit. Let us look at how human beings are brought up and how they do what they do. As children, we learn by watching and observing adults. This is called social learning. This constitutes about 60% of learning. Wow, that's my statistics. Don't try and Google it. Albert Bandura's theory emphasizes that children observe adults to gain information and about how to act in this world by just mimicking adults and their behaviors, and this will be the outcome of how the child will be. The other one is what is called an incidental learning. While children pick up their languages and vocabulary from what they hear and whatever other nuances in between. Remember, the brain of a child during the formative years is malleable. A child may seem to be reasoning, but their reasoning really comes from what they've already observed. Most of the time, their minds take everything. A child can grow up in an environment and become someone or something else. The very same child, if he's brought up in a different environment, it becomes a completely different person. I usually hear people saying, well, that's how I am. And I just look away and say to myself, well, if you knew that you were conditioned to be like that. You see, environment contributes like more than 90% of how the person is going to become. We just don't become a total sum of the environment. You become the product of the environment. Well, those who did maths will understand the difference between a sum and a product. Well, I think you get where I'm getting to. If you don't, just stay with me a bit. Let me just break it down for you. Due to financial lack and financial institution being in business of profit, of making profit, the lending and borrowing system with interest was established. And salespeople were deployed everywhere to advertise. And they told our parents, you need a dining room suite. You need a kitchen unit. You need a bedroom suite. They were hooked into buying on credit. Of course, there was interest. 24 months to pay, They would show you that this is the amount that you're going to pay per month. And they could see, oh, wow, I can afford this. And they didn't show the interest. They didn't show the total amount that was going to be paid at the end of the installment. The idea was to not show, of course, so that they can buy and buy on credit. And the other issue is keeping up with the Joneses or the Kumalos, which is another competitive spirit, which is another pandemic. Well, angikho kuleyo. We saw this spirit of competition from the brothers Abel and Cain, where the other brother ended up killing his brother because he was in competition with him. He was looking at him, what he's doing, instead of concentrating on his own work and making sure that he succeed in his own work. But no, he's looking at the next door. Well, I'm not in that one. As children, we're watching all these. Our parents getting into debt, taking things on credit. And without questioning anything, we thought this is a way of life. And then this became our program in our minds. A program is that thing that we do without even thinking about it. If you could be asked, why are you doing this? The answer will say, I don't know. These are all the things we find ourselves doing without thinking about them. You get a person who's good at school, is getting good grades, and he passes with flying colors. He gets to medical school. After 6 years, he graduates and then goes for internship. Whilst he's going for his internship, he already has 2 credit cards. The financial institutions are very fast in giving people credit cards. And our good doctors, our learned friends, they're very fast to accept them. They accept them with both hands. What do they say? Kudala silupheka. It's our time to be free. So they say. What they're not saying is that they're entering into another entanglement. Have you ever been entangled by a spider web? That little thing that you can hardly see, it entangles you. They finished their internship. The new and the latest model of BMW is just waiting for them. They can't wait to be in the driver's seat. Well, you cannot leave the iPhone out of this. It's part of the package. All on credit. Also goes to rent an apartment at one of their prestigious apartments. It's not really about our learned doctors. I was just making an example because you also find those who are graduates, recently graduated, earning about 25,000 Rand a month and want an apartment in Midrand and want to drive that GTI or a BMW. This is all because of the conditioning of our minds. We've been conditioned since we're young. We saw these cars that are so beautiful and wanted to drive them. And no one was telling us that, no, don't get into this. You'll find yourself in trouble. Even if they told us, I don't think we were going to listen. And the iPhone is there. Woolworths water. They say, we have arrived. And then you find a person choking because the installment is very high. Now he cannot afford things properly because he did not do his calculations. He didn't run the numbers. Remember, there are hidden costs in everything. When you buy that BMW, there's petrol as well. There's tires that need to be bought. And of course, living in South Africa with all these potholes, you burst your tire, you have to buy it. It's not less than 4,000 a month, and we have not budgeted for that. And in all this, there is no saving, there is no investment. People are living from day to day, from hand to mouth. If we could learn to do a 5 why analysis before embarking on anything, run the numbers, make sure that you pay yourself first. Ask yourself, do I really need a BMW? If the answer that you get, ask another question. Will I be able to afford it? Answer another question. If I can afford it, will I be able to save? Will I be able to invest? These are some of the questions that we have to ask ourselves, because it doesn't help buying a BMW, buying a GTI, buying an iPhone, living in an expensive apartment. You don't have any savings. By the time you finish paying those things, the car is finished as well. You have to buy another one, another installment. There is no time for saving. Those who earn less really have no business in taking things on credit. We've learned this ourselves. We got our fingers bent. And we can heal from this pandemic. Save up for what you want. Do not try to keep up with the Joneses or the Kumalos. It is not worth it. Stay in your lane. Do not do what the others are doing, because you don't know what they are doing whilst you are asleep at night. Do not try to keep up with them. And as they say, it's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. Do not be a slave of credit. Free yourself from all that bondage. I saw people earning 200,000 a month, and they're still in debt. They're still taking things on credit. You ask yourself, how do you even get there? It's all the conditioning. All the conditioning. Let us learn from the parable of the talents. One was given 1 talent, the other was given 2 talents, the other was given 5 talents. It's about how much you keep and how you use it. Again, as I say, it's not about how much you keep. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. You find a person, for instance, not working for a year. He has no debt because he's just surviving day after day. And from there he finds a job. After finding a job, he gets into debt. Really? Why? If you ask him, he says, now I can be able to pay for this debt. It's not worth it. Try to be able to save. Don't try to do things in a rush. There is no need. You're not in competition with anyone. Carve your path properly without looking at the neighbor. Think things through. Set up a plan to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Stick to your plan. Do do not lose sight of the bigger picture. Build slowly, without rushing anything. You do not actually need that BMW or GTI. Neither do you need that iPhone. Only when you really earn big monies and you save up for these things, then you can buy them. But if you're earning less, there's no need. We really need to build as a people. We really need to grow as a people and stop this entanglement. If we don't start now, if we don't teach our children to save up, to invest, they'll be in the same place that you are at this point, whereby you don't have any savings, you don't have any investments, and years have gone by. Vugataki. It is time to wake up. It is time for us to build things for ourselves. We cannot be complaining about apartheid and the things that apartheid have done to us. It's not worth it. We can complain and complain. Things are not going to change. It is time for us now to start building for ourselves and be united as a people, and let us not pull each other apart. Let us support one another. Let us build. Vugataki.